On Facebook, as in our top story, a case has been unsealed in federal court today against Brenda Kinnian. She not only struck a plea deal, but according to court documents, Kinnian is also participating in ongoing federal investigations into public corruption and drugs. Now, could this be the Brenda, the confidential informant named in Jonya Mayor Jesse Blas's case? Our Adriana Cotero takes a closer look.
Brenda Kinnian entered a guilty plea on September 26, 2018. She was charged with extortion by wrongful use of threatened force, violence, or fear, and aiding and abetting extortion under pretense of office and employment. According to court documents, she was arrested for a robbery scheme that occurred between April 2017 to May 2018 that involved the A Market in Agate. She lived behind the store and told the owners she could get them FBI protection from further crimes and threats of violence. Kinnian unlawfully collected $450,000 from the owners in exchange for their protection. According to court documents, a motion to continue a status hearing for Brenda Kinnian was made because, quote, the defendant continues to assist the government on ongoing investigations with the Federal Bureau of Investigation and other federal law enforcement agencies involving public corruption and narcotics trafficking, end quote. As you may recall, the government's confidential source that posed as a drug trafficker in Jonya Mayor Jesse Blas's case has only been identified as the name Brenda thus far. It was stated in court that she has been relocated for her own safety. In Kinnian's case, a motion was made to release the defendant's passport and allow travel twice, the first to Chuk in July 2019 to visit family, and the second on August 1, 2019 to Yap for 90 days for security. Quote, the government believes that a security risk exists for Ms. Kinnian and requests the defendant be allowed to travel to Yap and remain there for 90 days unless she is required by the court to appear for a hearing here on Guam, end quote. The latest motion filed on September 30th of this year in her case was for another continued status hearing because Kinnian continues to assist the government in ongoing investigations, and the defendant may testify in a criminal case currently charged. Kinnian's case was scheduled for February 7th, 2020. Jonya Mayor Jesse Blas was indicted on September 24, 2019, and arraigned on the same day. KUAM reached out to the U.S. Attorney's Office, and they cannot confirm or deny if Brenda is the informant in Mayor Blas's case, and said, quote, refer to the court documents, end quote. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Adriana Cotero.
Now, further to Adriana's report, before there was Brenda, there was Vicky Lynn Tarigueo. And according to a notice filed in the criminal case involving the Jonya Mayor, the feds plan to present other evidence of alleged prior criminal acts. Blas was, of course, indicted in September for allegedly allowing a confidential informant identified as Brenda to pay for U.S. Postal Service cluster boxes outside his office with which to smuggle in drugs. Court documents filed in district court today before Brenda say the feds allege the mayor gave keys to a cluster box to Tarigueo. Court documents further state that Tarigueo was supposed to order meth from her contacts in the mainland and then sell the substance and give Blas a share of the profits. According to Tarigueo, Blas provided access to the cluster box units to other drug traffickers. Tarigueo has been identified as the initial complainant in the Blas indictment, with Blas her former third-party custodian in a case she had before the Superior Court of Guam. She is now in Saipan. The mayor has pleaded not guilty to the charges, as last week District Court of Guam Chief Judge Francis Tyrinko Gatewood ordered Blas be detained pending his trial, which is scheduled for December the 3rd. And in other island news tonight, Guam Visitors Bureau employees evidently are not too happy with the Bureau's senior management, according to a letter sent to the agency's board. Our Chris Barnett explains.
KUAM has obtained a 3-page letter sent to the Guam Visitors Bureau board, allegedly by the tourism agency's concerned management and staff. It outlines areas including an overwhelming sense of micromanagement practices and growing mistrust from senior management that has consumed the Bureau. The letter cites, quote, an environment of paralysis rather than inspiration, stating delay tactics or disapprovals with no logical reasoning or justification when employees come up with innovative ideas to enhance our programs and efforts. The letter calling out senior management by GVB CEO President Pilar Laguana is the only senior manager named in the document. It further reads that employees have raised these issues with other managers but are reluctant to push concerns, quote, in fear of retaliation from the president. The letter ends with staff recommendations and says concerned employees would be willing to meet with the board without senior management's knowledge or presence. Recommendations include restoring the abilities of classified directors to manage their departments, re-evaluating personnel policies and procedures to ensure employees' rights are clearly defined, and the creation of a safe mechanism to report incidences for those that may fall victim to any form of retribution or bullying tactics by senior management. GV Board Secretary Teresa Arreola confirming the board received the letter and said it would likely be addressed at the next board meeting on November 14th. GVB, meanwhile, released the following statement about the letter. The Bureau is in receipt of an anonymous letter raising concerns with senior management. The Bureau takes these matters seriously and will review the claims noted in the letter with an aim towards ensuring that the business of the Bureau continues uninterrupted. For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
Meanwhile, from the legislature, Senator Suarez Llahi, who of course is the Tourism Committee chairperson, issued a statement in which he said, quote, I'm concerned about the allegations and tone of the letter and look forward to a quick investigation by the board. She also says, I have not heard directly from any employees as to the allegations in the letter, but only received it from the media. Now, speaking of GVB, that agency has issued a public apology to one Speaker Tino Muñoz Barnes for, quote, both the tone and substance of our letter, which raised concerns of her Bill 152. In that communique, GVB President Pilar Laguatnio opposed the use of $1.5 million from the Tourist Attraction Fund to pay for a revamped Guam Film Commission. The letter also criticized the Speaker for not giving GVB the respect or courtesy of discussing the measure. Barnes removed the funding section from her bill, but later sent a strongly worded reply to GVB, saying it had ample opportunity to discuss and comment on the legislation, but did not bother to do so. In its statement today, GVB noted that Barnes was the former tourism chairwoman herself and, quote, has the institutional knowledge, understanding, and passion to fight for what GVB needs to move forward. To the crime beat now, as drug defendant Layton Borja appeared for a status hearing on his restitution payments. It was stated in court that Borja owes some $14,000 and is required to pay $25 a month. His last payment was on the 22nd of October, and he paid $300, and that payment for that was on August 5th of $80. Borja told Judge Cisan that his payment amounts are depending on when he can find work and how much he makes. The judge scheduled a return for an update in 3 months on February the 10th. Elsewhere, Joshua Mesa appeared in Superior Court for a restitution hearing as after pleading guilty on June 27th on local charges, the defendant agreed today in Judge Anita Socola's courtroom to pay a restitution of a little more than $7,000. However, he will not be able to start paying that amount until he's released from prison. Mesa is currently incarcerated and has a federal court case that he may face a minimum of 5 years behind bars. Mesa was arrested for receiving drugs in the mail, with a federal matter involving a package containing 50 grams of ice. Well, on Halloween, GPD officers were patrolling the NCS area of Dedido when they observed a vehicle with an expired registration sticker and a missing rear window covered with a black opaque piece of plastic. Officers pulled over the vehicle and noticed Josh David in the back seat making movements which became more observable when David opened his door. Court documents state then officers spotted a black pouch underneath the front driver's seat, with the driver consenting to a search of the vehicle, and when officers opened the pouch, they found a modified glass pipe with suspected meth residue. A check on the pouch that was on David revealed a small plastic bag with suspected meth. Field tests resulted in a presumptive positive test for meth also. David would later admit the pipe belonged to him, and he was charged with drug possession. Well, on November the 1st, the very next day, GPD officers then observed a vehicle with an expired registration passing Assen Beach. A traffic stop was conducted, and the driver, 29-year-old Dennis Suarez Jr., appeared to have shaky hands and was unable to make eye contact with the officer. Suarez also responded in a low voice and was repeatedly asked to speak up. Court documents state that he stated he was nervous, to which the officer asked him if he had anything in the vehicle. Suarez admitted to having a 50 plate in his wallet that he identified as the drug ice. Suarez was charged with drug possession as a third-degree felony. In other island matters tonight, GovGuam's chief procurement officer has been assigned to the port as part of an agreement between DOA and the Port Authority. Claudia Akfaji, the classified procurement chief, starts her assignment to the port today, with GM Roy Respicio in an October letter to DOA head Edward Byrne saying Akfaji could provide the technical guidance to the staff and the preparation and issuance of procurement packages. Byrne cited a section of law that allows for interbranch employee transfers when he asked what law allowed for the detail. Byrne added Akfaji was to assist the port with its extensive modernization. The port will pay Akfaji's salary for the duration of her assignment to the port. It is at this time unclear how she will remain detailed to the agency. Elsewhere on island, Adelup Chief of Staff Tony Babata said of Akfaji's assignment, Claudia will be of great help to the port, and they believe GSA can continue to advance our procurement reforms at both an administrative and legislative level. Now, news you're going to want to know, certainly, as more tax refunds will be mailed this week, as about 470 checks have been processed totaling about $1.6 million. They include refunds for error-free returns filed on or before May the 11th. So we are getting caught up. Check out our website to see more about this story. And please stay tuned, because keep watching and keep streaming, because Primetime will continue right after these messages.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
Matson is in this community. We've been in this community for decades. We're going to be in this community for decades to come. Things will get busy, things will get quiet, but we're going to be here. We're your hometown carrier. And that matters to us.
Reliability is the core of our business. We take pride in ensuring that we arrive in Guam on time as scheduled.
It's our local employees who understand the market, who understand the business, and provide that hard work for you each and every day.
When we hold ourselves to high standards, our customers also hold us to high standards. We establish good business relationships that turn into friendships. That's why it's so important to be here and be trusted by your customers. We want you to trust Matson like your friend, like your family.
Half the day, I'm in the club.
Half a day, welcome to Two Lovers Point.
Half a day, I'm in the club. Okay. Can you connect me to Alan, please?
Attention passengers of flight AJ3004, your flight has been delayed.
It's the flavor that makes you go, woo. McDonald's new spicy barbecue glazed tenders and chicken sandwich. Made with tender, juicy, all-white meat chicken.
Available in 4, 6, or 10-piece chicken tenders. Try the spicy barbecue crispy chicken sandwich too.
Yo, Jay, you sure you want to be washing your car right now, man?
Not now, Kevin. I'm washing Betsy, and she has to be spotless, bro.
Clouds are coming in fast.
It looks fine to me. Look again. It looks fine, Kevin. It looks fine.
You know what makes more sense than Guam's weather? Using your Bank of Guam credit card at any Shell station to save 6% on gas purchases. Call, click, or visit for more details. Make more sense. Bank of Guam, the People's Bank. Member FDIC.
It's a special delivery to your inbox every week with your KUAM News Roundup, program advisories, and promotions. Sign up for the weekly KUAM Digital Digest today on KUAM.com.
Welcome back to Primetime, everybody. Devastating typhoons continue to wreak havoc across the Asia-Pacific, and weather experts from a dozen countries are on island for a workshop on how to reduce the often disastrous impacts to life and property. Ernesto Lacanto explains.
It's the first time Guam's NOAA National Weather Service office is hosting the event. The workshops were established by the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia-Pacific Typhoon Committee. Genevieve Cruz-Miller is the NWS Guam meteorologist in charge.
That is an idea that all of these countries are affected severely by typhoons, so we must have some kind of common way of dealing with it and preventing them. So we had the great honor of having the governor really give a good talk about that and how our island is so resilient. And that too we want to showcase and tell our guests here, Guam is a good example of being, mitigating disaster.
Disaster risk reduction will be one of the key topics of the workshop, says Yu Ji Zin of the Typhoon Committee Secretariat. He says extreme storms and rapid urbanization have made Asia the most flood-prone region in the world, and they're seeking new tools to mitigate the impacts.
This time we aim is to use the new technology like AI, like a smart service, to further promote the jobs and to more efficiency and effectivity to protect the people and the property.
And then there's the continuing debate over the impacts of climate change, which the NWS's Miller says is of particular importance to Pacific Island nations, where rising sea levels are posing a significant threat.
The World Meteorological Organization member did mention that was a hot topic at one of their national conferences in January. So while we are trying to come up with a lot of ideas and ways to mitigate that, it's just a wake-up call. We really need to do something about climate change.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
And this past weekend, our brothers and sisters from the FSM community of Guam celebrated their 33rd anniversary of their Independence Day. Now, the historic celebration, held on Saturday at Ipao Beach in Tumon, kicked off with a parachute jump by retired Green Beret Tim Ono, a retired U.S. Army major. He's from Ponape originally. And opening remarks by FSM Consul General Teresa Philippin.
In the spirit of our theme today, promoting goodwill and unity across Micronesia, I want to thank our host, Guam, for welcoming us and allowing us to work and live side by side in unity as fellow islanders.
Also on hand was Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio, who spoke about his recent meeting with FSM President Dave Panuelo, during which they discussed various issues of mutual concern.
And I expressed to him that it was Governor Leon Guerrero's movement in our administration to expand the regional presence of Guam, to make sure that we participate in all aspects of this region as we bring forward our quest for the recognition of self-determination here in Guam, and our effort and our continuing effort to further the decolonization movement.
Tenorio also announced work between Guam and the FSM Consul General's office to implement plans that focus on youth development and investments in parks and recreational facilities that will benefit all on Guam. Well, elsewhere today, several dozen showed up to protest the buildup right at the military's front door. Chris Barnett was there and has more on Putehi Liteksan's demonstration at Joint Region Marianas.
Environmental Direct Action Group Putehi Liteksan held a demonstration at Joint Region Marianas Friday, and while the group had hoped for dialogue with JRM officials, the military reportedly releasing employees before the protests. No one from Joint Region came out to greet protesters, and demonstrator Maria Sol Marks says she thinks she knows why.
In my opinion, I think they just don't want to know. They'd rather live in bliss, not knowing what they're doing is wrong and unfair.
9 different discoveries of human remains and nearly 20 discoveries of sites with significant ancestral artifacts at the construction area for the live fire training range has further fueled the group's resistance to the buildup. Those remains currently being stored in paper bags and boxes, which Acting State Historic Preservation Officer Pat Lujan says is standard practice for storing archaeological finds. Protester Keisha Bora Kitsutsu.
To treat our ancestral remains as if they are just like they're balutan, like they're basula, just trash, leftovers at some party, to place them in a paper bag. What do you think that shows us? And you constantly tell us that you respect us. That is the epitome of what is not respectful.
Olympia Terrell said cultural and environmentally rich areas like Liteksan should be preserved.
I believe that Guam has given enough.
Bora Kitsutsu was disappointed no one from Joint Region came out to speak with demonstrators, so we asked her what her message to the military's top brass is.
No buildup. We never wanted this buildup. We still don't want this buildup, and we will go down fighting till we die, saying that we didn't want this buildup.
Richard San Nicolas, not a member of Putehi Liteksan, and he says he showed up at the demonstration to lend support for the group.
When you look at what everyone's doing and what they're talking about and the things that they're asking for, they're just asking for people to stand up for our culture, our past, just like my poster says, preserve our past, our culture, our history, and think about the future of the kids that are standing out here.
For Guam News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
Now, in less contentious news, independent Guahan members cleaned up the City Bay overlook over the weekend with a couple dozen members of the group, which advocates independence as a political status choice for the island, met Saturday morning and helped pick up trash and clear tree growth impeding the view at the park. Independent Guam adopted the park earlier this year and painted a mural entitled Nanatlas Sunset on its retaining wall. Several bags of trash were collected on Saturday, with volunteers also rounding up a bed frame, barbecue pit, and other discarded items. The cleanup was conducted by the group's Outreach Committee, which offers hikes, outreaches, and cleanups as part of its community education efforts. For more, you can check out Independent Guam on Facebook. Good job by those guys. Well, more signs of the U.S.'s growing focus on Asia now in other news, as more than 1,000 business and government leaders from the U.S. and the Indo-Pacific region met in Bangkok, Thailand today for the Indo-Pacific Business Forum. The meeting was to promote the value of high-standard investment, transparency, the rule of law, and private sector-led economic development. It was headlined by U.S. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross, who led a delegation to explore business deals in the region. The State Department also released a progress report on U.S. economic and defense strategy for the region entitled A Free and Open Indo-Pacific, Advancing a Shared Vision. The State Department says the report details 2 years of diplomatic, economic, governance, and security initiatives that show the U.S.'s continuing commitment and strengthening of bilateral ties. On Guam, Republican Senator James Moylan tonight will host a community forum up in Jigo, the first of several he plans to hold to discuss various bills and issues related to public safety. Now, the forum, which is being held in coordination with the Jigo mayors, will be an opportunity for the community to express their thoughts on legislation and make recommendations on other means to keep their neighborhoods safe. The forum began at the top of the hour at the Jigo Senior Citizens Center. Elsewhere, the Department of Corrections will be appearing before the legislature's Committee on Public Safety again this week, with a second oversight hearing over DOC scheduled for Wednesday. Vice Speaker Tinlina Nelson has been holding the oversights as a result of allegations of corruption, as well as several erroneous releases this year alone. And just recently, a maximum security inmate was busted for having a cell phone inside his cell. KUAM did ask for a comment from DOC Director Samantha Brennan whether an internal affairs investigation was going to be launched. She has yet to respond to any of our inquiries. The Hump Day Oversight hearing is scheduled for 5 p.m. at the Guam Congress Building. Well, weather watchers continue to monitor Typhoon Halong, which is located east-northeast of Guam. There are no direct impacts for the Marianas, and no watches or warnings are in effect for Guam this time. Looking ahead, however, the NWS says a monsoon trough could be found to the south of the Marianas, with the possibility of another circulation to form in the trough by midweek. There's still uncertainty regarding the second circulation development. Make sure to check out Facebook for the very latest. Follow NWS. They got good stuff. Well, not only did they set out to break the world record, they smashed it. The current Guinness Book of World Records of the longest parade of Nissan cars was set 2 years ago in Texas with 250 participants. But on Sunday, Nissan Guam does report that 321 Nissan vehicles crossed the finish line. The parade started in Tamuning and ended at Paseo Hinaganya. According to Nissan Guam, their evidence will still need to be verified before it is official. Good luck and congratulations to our friends at Nissan. Well, in other news tonight, the Guam Census is hiring, as head to the Micronesia Mall Center Court tomorrow from 10 to 3, where they'll be providing job applications and conducting on-site interviews. There are plenty of full and part-time temporary positions available. Check out KUAM.com for more information. And please stay tuned, because after this break, Dave Delgado with a night in Island Sports.
Make every day a plus.
Want a real taste of New York? The Big New Yorker is back with a big, bold taste rolled into 16 inches of foldable crust. It's handmade to perfection with a sweet marinara sauce and your favorite topping. And at 30% larger than our large, the Big New Yorker is only $9.99 for carryout. Bring together your family and friends for a Big New Yorker party. Each pizza is just $9.99 for carryout. The Big New Yorker, so close you can taste it. Only at your Island Pizza Hut.
MTO, professional janitorial services with a warm hospitality touch. MTO gives that gift year-round. Pressure wash roofs, pressure wash driveways, lawn service, home cleaning, carpet restoration, office cleaning, commercial window cleaning, floor care. When cleaning is in order, MTO has you covered. Call 647-6861 to inquire on how you can receive the maintenance you deserve.
MTO, celebrating 30 years with you, Guam.
With smart business solutions tailored to your specific needs, you can achieve your goals. You can stay connected to your customers and your teams with Docomo Pacific's best-in-class network coverage. You can be confident knowing that you have a dedicated team to provide premium support for all your needs. With us by your side, you can do it all. Find out more at DocomoPacific.com/business. Docomo Pacific Business, delivering your future today.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. We get the show started tonight with some footage from the football combine that was held at Guam High School. Check it out. Some of the island's best high school football players took their talents to Guam High for the 2019 College Football Showcase and Combine. Strength and conditioning coach Chad Ike, 671 recruiting, and FD coach Bruce Meno assisted with the combine. Athletes were timed in various agility drills that were logged, filmed, and will be sent off to a network of coaches.
We already had a couple kids run 4.6, 4.7, which is a pretty good time right now for this level. So exciting, just to see the progress these kids have made over the years, and it's just going to keep getting better.
The first day of the combine was for underclassmen, 9th and 10th grade. 8th graders were also welcome to check out the event. Over the last 3 years, over 20 Guam Prep football seniors signed to play sports at the collegiate level.
It's really more of a belief system in themselves, because I think if they understand that they believe in themselves and they work hard and the families believe that their child can do it, there's going to be a lot more football players leaving the islands. You see already there's a lot of soccer kids, a lot of basketball, baseball. Football is a little bit different because genetically, they don't have the 6'5", 6'6" guys running around, every day out here, but, they still have that opportunity.
Players were tested in the 40-yard dash, vertical jump, broad jump, shuttle, 3-cone drills, and specific position drills.
Outside of their belief, they also have to understand that they need to have the discipline in the classroom. That's going to be the most important aspect of them, especially for the schools that a lot of these kids are going to be able to play at, the D2, D3 level and the NAI level. They're very high academic institutions, so they require very good GPA. So it's really starting at that mature division, and getting them to understand that, hey, football is only a benefit if you have the good grades, if you want to play at the next level.
Guam Radiology Clinic and GTA lacing up for their matchup in the Pacific Industry Basketball League. Held at the Jungle in Manilao, 3-point attempt by GRC good after getting the bounce. GTA's Jordan Uggan answers with a 3-pointer back the other way. Xander Kamai going coast to coast after coming up with the steal, takes it in for the easy layup. GTA going to work on their next possession. The homie Gene with the no-look pass inside. Shot attempt is short, but Carlo Menglotnya was in the right place at the right time. Rebound and putback drops in for 2 points. Vince Espinal with the pass to Xander Kamai. Nice bounce inside the paint to Chad, who goes glass for the bucket. GTA going inside to Menglotnya, who goes up with it, gets fouled in the air, a little hang time to get the shot to go and one. GRC pulled off the win 60-42. Docomo beat out Coast 360, 67-65. And AK got the win over Dusitani, 56-40. In soccer news, the top 23 players from Guam's U19 national training squad have been called up to represent the island when the team takes on Japan, Vietnam, and Mongolia in the AFC U19 Championship 2020 qualifier in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam later on this week. The team will kick off the tournament against Japan on November 6th at 4 in the afternoon Vietnam time, 7 p.m. Guam time, and will next play against the host country on November 8th at 7 p.m. Vietnam time, 10 p.m. Guam time. The team's final match of the qualifier will be against Mongolia on November 10th, 4 p.m. Vietnam time, 7 p.m. Guam time.
Mark is the best husband and father you could ask for.
Right, mi amor? My brother? He's just a big kid.
Great guy. Best man at my wedding. Just gotta keep him off the dance floor.
Uncle Mark's the best. He taught me how to seal a base.
He stopped by yesterday just to chat.
Honestly, this place would fall apart without him.
This would be awkward if you were sharing these nachos with anyone but yourself. Nachos are now a meal with your choice of double the seasoned beef or slow-cooked shredded chicken plus a medium drink. The Grande Nachos Box, only at Taco Bell.
And now here's what you've surely been waiting for. Here are your Monday birthday shoutouts. We got a jam-packed edition of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club, everybody. So, happy birthday to Karis Blaze Tovis Franquez. Happy sweet 16th birthday. We're so proud to be her parents. We'll be home soon. God bless you with many more years of health, happiness, and success. Jazzy Fujihira. Happy 14th birthday to our beautiful daughter, Jazette. We're so proud of you. May your special day be filled with wonderful blessings and lots of fun. Love you always to the moon and back, coming from Mom, Dad, Juliet, and Frankie. Mia Calvo blows out the candles today, and a very happy birthday from her crews as well as Calvo Familias. Sophia Underwood has a birthday today, and happy birthday, love from your family. Also, happy birthday number 5, Big 5, from Mommy and Daddy going out to Mason Joe. And we have a single belated birthday wish to get to, born on November 3rd. Happy birthday to Gus Sabla. Everyone out there, have a great, fantastic day. The Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club is completely free and all are welcome, so go to KUAM.com and click the link at the tippy top of our page. It says birthdays and you are in. Please stay tuned. Cruising with KUAM is next.